And welcome to the Sheep Summer Games in 2020. Welcome back to RedOps Stadium, home of Himmel. We have an exciting event for you today. We have the 400-meter dash. These sheep will be giving it their all today, trying to take home the second gold medal of these events. Here we have the previous standings of the first race. Gabi currently in the lead, getting that first gold medal of the Sheep Summer Games. As you see, the track goes around once for each sheep. The sheep have a starting position such that the end is all equal. Each sheep has the same chances no matter what lane they started, as it's supposed to be. We have that staggered start to beginning, and here we have it, Heat 1, getting ready to get the first race underway. We have Tilakana, Gabi, Rangi, Himmel, Bumi, Mara, Nar, and Wyote. And here we have it. Firework, and we're off. Each sheep is trying to get that qualified for the final. You just gotta do well enough to be in the top of these races. The one way we can tell who's in what position is by looking at their height. Each height is equal to each other. So if one sheep is lower than the other one, that means they're in the lead. Very hard to tell who's in the lead at the very beginning. As this race progresses, we'll see them get tighter and tighter as we are getting closer to the finish. We'll see who is able to run this 400 meters the best and be able to finish in top 4 to move on to the finals. As always, we have multiple camera angles for your viewing entertainment. We'll be switching between cameras to give you the best experience possible in viewing the 400 meter race. Currently, we are looking at the back 4 in the race, but they actually could be in the lead. Hard to tell at this point. But look at Gabi getting a little sprint out there. Bumi seems to be in the lead, but Himmel seems to be falling back pretty high up there. Nara is catching up to Wyote, meaning that they're probably ahead a little bit. Mara also falling behind as Bumi is about to pass him on that turn. Rangi and Gabi doing a good job right now, possibly in the lead. As we know that Gabi won the 800 meter race, they're looking to get a repeat performance here and try and win the 400. 2 gold medals in these events will put you a long way in solidifying the best nation in the world for sheep games. As you know, only 8 events, and this is the second of 8. Every point matters, and it's worth as much as gold, trying to get the best positions possible. As we continue, Himmel looks like they've fallen behind. Tilakana and Gabi seem to be doing a pretty good job in this couple of turns. Looks like they're doing well through the turns. We have Mara also falling behind at this point. Rangi, as you know, was another top finisher, finishing second. Oh, and we cut back to the start as we see the water started from the beginning and all finished at the same time. This was a visualization cue for everyone to make sure that you believe us, that this track was built 400 meters long and each lane is exactly that length. Continuing on, I was mentioning how Rangi also was a top finisher, finishing second, trying to get another good performance here to keep getting those points. Currently we see Rangi running as well as Bumi. Wyote all of a sudden has sprinted forward way in front now. But it looks like Gabi's still in front of Rangi. As you see, they're lower and finished as they go down the next one already. While Rangi's still one above, and Gabi's sprinting forward, getting a good lead currently, it seems. Yes, Gabi looks like they're in their lead. Wyote, it seems like they're in the lead, but they are on the farthest track and still have to make it around the far bend of the last turn. Tilakana, Himmel, and Mara are really far behind at this point. But it's anyone's game, as we've known from the 800. Anyone can just turn and start sprinting when they think they need to put in that last burst of energy to win the race. Conserving energy might be their strategy. We never know how these sheep prepared and what their strategy is going forward in these races. You still see Gabi having a commanding lead, but Mara is now catching up to the group. Wyote is coming around this next bend already. Here goes Nara as well with Bumi. Gabi way in front, it seems, going around this bend while in lanes 2 Mare also catching up to the bend at this point, and Rangi also going around the bend. Tilakana and Himmel way in the back at this point. All these sheep seem to be pretty tight, trying to get this finish to qualify for the final. Sheep are moving across this bend. All sheep are on this bend. Very tight, but as we know, it's what about the height that matters. Mara and Himmel both are pretty high up, but they still have a chance. It's not that far off from the leader, which at this point, it looks like Gabi has fallen to Rangi. Rangi looks like has taken over the lead. Himmel's pretty high up. Actually, Himmel could be in the back, but it looks like Wayota also is pretty high up along with Nar. Those two seemed to be in the lead, but now look like they're not that far ahead. We have Kilakana also caught up, as I mentioned, that it's super easy for teams to quickly catch up in these events, and it just takes one sprint, and all of a sudden they might be in the lead. Boomy is doing a pretty good job here, keeping good position, looking like they're in 4th place at the moment, potentially tied with Wayota for 4th. Nar has fallen behind all of a sudden on this turn, and is now probably tied in last with Himmel and Mara. Gabi looks like they're continuing their demanding lead, continuing to move forward across the track. We do wonder whether the athletes are conserving some of their energy in this semifinal, or are they going all out? You have to know that you want to finish in the top 4, but you also have to save some energy for the finals that are going to happen later today. Gabi and Tilakana seem to have taken the lead. Tilakana coming in from last place and now is with the crowd and potentially even in 2nd. Wayota also sprinting forward, looking like they have it commanding, taking back some of that ground that they lost earlier around the turn. Himmel looks like they're also caught up to the crowd, and as we're reaching the final 100 meters, all these sheep are all together for the final sprint. Who will have the energy to put in the last burst of sprint to get into the top 4 and qualify for the final? Gabi having that lead, as we saw. Tilakana close behind. Rangi and Boomy also up there. Himmel trying to get up there as well. Wayota and Himmel look like they're tied at this point. Nara and Mara in the back. Gabi looks like they're taking a commanding lead, moving way forward in front of Tilakana. Tilakana also has a commanding lead. At this point, every sheep should be tied. This is the last 100 meters. At this point, all the water is equal. All the lanes are equal. Who has what it takes to sprint this last thing? Tilakana going for the sprint. Tilakana looks like they're about to be passing Gabi. Tilakana sprinting. Will Gabi hold on to first place in this semi, or will Tilakana get first? It might also be important to note that depending on your finish, that's which lane you're going to be running in the final. Maybe there's some strategy depending on whether you want to be in 1st or 2nd for this race. Boomy is now sprinting with Rangi in 4th and Himmel in 5th. Himmel trying to make some moves but slowed down. Gabi is still holding down the lead, but Tilakana is around their tails. We see the finish line camera at this point. Gabi is running forward. Gabi looks like they're going to finish. And Gabi, another strong performance here in the semifinals, getting first. And will be in lane 4, most likely, for the final. Tilakana just finished in 2nd. Now we're looking for 3rd place and 4th place. The next 2 will qualify. The last 4 are eliminated. Here we see will Gabi and Rangi finish off and get the 3rd place, and will Mara or Himmel try to contend and take over. And it looks like Boomy got 3rd and Rangi 4th. Those are 4 qualifiers. At this point, it's all about timing. You want to get the best time to get the highest points, because the next 8 spots are only based on points between the next 2. And there goes Mara for the finish, and Himmel coming through as well. And there finishes Nar with Wayota. Pretty good first event, first heat of this 400 meters. And we'll look at the times right now. Gabi with a good time of 7:49.04 qualifies, and Rangi also qualified with 8:13.50. These times for the bottom 4 matter because that's how the points will be scored. Heat 2 at this point. Here we have Tempesta, Sanu, Berati, Aris, Haldas, Naturan, Sviet, and in the last race we have Okan. We'll see who qualifies the last 4 spots available for the final in this Heat 2 of the semifinal for the 400-meter race. As always, we have difficult at the very start. Who's in the lead? It looks like Tempesta has some sprinting going on initially as well as Okan. Potentially those two are in the lead. Hard to tell at this point, but the next 6 potentially tied. Our second camera getting us a overview of all the sheep as they're making their way in their first bend. Aris and Berti looks like they're fighting in that middle lane, potentially with the best lanes for these races. But also we know that sometimes the outside lanes are just as good. This time we see Okan, Sviet, and Naturan. We have Haldas, Aris, Berti, Tempesta, and Sanu looks like they've fallen way behind, pretty high up there on this turn. Looks like it seems like everyone's at the same height about, so pretty tight race at this point, even though it doesn't seem like it. But as these sheep keep racing, they'll start getting closer and closer together as we get on with the race. Sanu really fell far back at this point, having to wonder whether their strategy that they have is paying off, conserving their energy for the end, or is they're not going to have enough time to finish off this race. Tempesta we see down here at the bottom of the screen sprinting forward again, making up some ground, as well as Okan at the top of the screen we see him sprinting forward. Getting some early leads might be beneficial, trying to sprint that thing and close some early gaps. Especially if you're in lane 1 and you see all these athletes in front of you. I wonder if that gives you motivation to sprint harder around these turns, knowing that it feels like you're behind, even though you're pretty up there on their leaderboards. Okan making a good sprint right now down the straight, making some great progress forward as he's sprinting forward there, as we see. We have Sviet and Naturan also up there. They're now getting into the straight, followed by Haldas getting into this next straight. Okan really having a commanding lead right now, it seems, way in front of everyone as he continues going. And here's the next 7, way behind Okan. Naturan getting some sprinting going, getting a good position here. Haldas and Aris, as you see on the screen, are neck and neck almost as they're coming down the track. Actually, Aris is 1 higher, meaning he's a little behind, 7 meters behind. You see Tempesta here. He is way ahead of everyone else. He's super low in the track. He might be even in the lead at this point as he's going down the track. Okay, as we said, way in front. Commanding lead it seems, but it's hard to tell because the Tempesta might be actually lower and having a better lead. We'll find out as they get into this next bend, getting around that final bend, and as the athletes get closer together, we'll be able to see what positions they're in. Tempesta continuing to sprint, motivated by the energy that they're in lane 1, and to see all these athletes still ahead of them. Tempesta's just sprinting as hard as he can, trying to get around this next bend. Will they have enough energy to push through for the finish and have a qualification here for the final? As always, we are wondering what they talked with their coaches before the event. Do they want to conserve some energy in the 400 but still qualify? Or will they be going all out to make sure that they qualify? Sanu, as we saw in that view, was way behind everyone. I wonder if they'll have what it takes to catch up and try to contend for a qualification here for the final. Tempesta really far ahead as they are going across this corner. We see Beretti way behind, and we don't even see Sanu on the screen as for how far back they are. Sviet making some quick moves forward, trying to get some better positioning, but pretty high up, probably tied with Naturan, Haldas, and Aris at this point. Okan still has a lead, but is diminishing between Sviet. The top 6, will one of these be the qualifiers? Who will qualify? We have 4 spots, 6 players right now, 6 sheep trying to get those 4 spots, all sprinting, trying to get into that final. Sviat looks like they just passed Okan, getting ahead, it seems, but Tempesta continuing to have a good, solid lead with all these athletes. The speed of these athletes is unbelievable. They're just hurling down this track as fast as they can, trying to get to the finish line. We see Sanu and Beretti way behind everyone else as we are getting closer to the last straight, the last 100 meters. We'll quickly learn who's in what place and how are these sheep going to qualify. Tempesta Okan still has a good lead. Sviat's up there with them, as well as Naturan, Hollis, and Aris. Aris looks like they're doing a little sprint across this final turn, trying to catch up some ground to the other athletes. But just look at Tempesta, how far ahead they are from everyone else. In lane 1, and they're way ahead. Looking at the other sheep, just a commanding lead at this point. Will they conserve some energy, or are they just going to keep going, not knowing how far ahead they are? Hard to look back and know where the other competitors are if you're this far ahead. Tempesta now reaching the final straight. And this is it, the final 100 meters. Going down the track. Who will get first in this semifinal heat? Who will be the qualifiers? We see Tempesta commanding lead. Okan's also getting there. Aris is now sprinting forward, trying to get into a qualification spot as well. We have Sviat up there in 4th place right now, trying to continue a good run, but it looks like Haldas is trying to get a good sprint and qualify as well. Tempesta just absolutely running it. It looks like that's 21 meters ahead of Okan. Just a commanding lead. Or they might be going for some record here, trying to get a good time. Unbelievable that they're doing this in the semifinals. What will they show us in the finals when they have more pressure to win? Okan and Aris currently in 2nd and 3rd respectively. Hollis in 4th. Will these be our qualifiers? Will Beretti, Naturan, or Sviat try to take over and get into that 4th spot? Here we see Tempesta running towards the finish line. Unbelievable. Time 7:24. This is unbelievable. That's close to a world record. That was an unbelievable performance by Tempesta. Just unbelievable athleticism and class that we've seen. We'll see Okan and Aris both fighting to get 2nd and 3rd. Will Haldas get 4th? Beretti's getting a sprint for 2. Fighting with Naturan, who will be the qualifiers. Okan gets 2nd, qualifies for the final. Here comes Aris and Hollis. Beretti sprinting for the finish. Will Beretti qualify? There goes Aris in 3rd. Beretti in 4th. Beretti just stole the qualification spot from Hollis and Naturan. Unbelievable. Beretti qualifies. Hollis is out. Unbelievable. We did not see that coming. Beretti was way behind everyone else, and they qualified. That was true athleticism class. Here comes Sviat in 7th, and Sanu finishes off the night. Always in that was throughout the whole race and last and finished last, unfortunately. Unbelievable performance by Beretti in this qualification to just barely sneak in and qualify. Unbelievable times here. We see 7:24.95 for Tempesta. Great time. Sanu actually would have qualified if they were in the 1st heat. That was unbelievably fast by all these athletes. We thought Sanu was slow, but in truth, they were actually very fast. As you see, Sanu in 12th place, ahead of Mara, Himmel, Naredwayate, who were in the 1st heat. That was just some amazing speed in that race. And now we have Bumi, Aris, Okan, Tempesta, Gabi, Tilakana, Beretti, followed by Rangi. This is the finals of the 400-meter race. The Sheep Summer Games, the next gold medal on the line. This is where all the training comes in. This is the race, and the athletes are off. The sheep are going. The 400 meters race, trying to get the gold medal here. Trying to get those 25 points and get a overall better position in the final. Who will be the winner here? As we are off, we have Bumi and Aris going fast already. We see Beretti also sprinting forward at the top of the street. Just a great overall atmosphere here at Aerodome Stadium. Unbelievable as these athletes are racing 400 meters. Beretti getting a sprint off, barely qualified, but here they are. unbelievable story if they win here. Currently looks like there might be in a commanding lead. We have a hard time always telling who's in the lead, but as always, as the race progresses, the athletes will get closer and closer together, and that final 100-meter sprint is where the true aspects of who is in the lead and who will get a goal will be known. We are, as always, wondering, will the athletes have a crazy comeback story like Gabi did, coming in from 8th to 1st in the 800-meter race? Will there be a underdog story where we have Beretti barely qualifying but winning the 400-meter race? And we can't forget about Tempesta, finishing last place in the 800-meter race, and now they're in the finals. This could be a story where Tempesta goes from last to first. Will they be able to make this a reality? Currently sitting with 0 points. A guaranteed 8 points in this event will go a long way already since they're qualified for the final, but they could get up to 25 points if they win. Will they make it happen? We'll just have to wait and see, as these athletes are now sprinting down this track, getting towards the last straight here coming up. As we see Beretti having a good lead on Rangi, not supposed to be tied up with him visually, but are one lower, meaning they're at least 7 meters ahead of Rangi. Looks like Gabi is way down low. Hard to tell with these perspective angles, but it looks like they might actually be in the lead at this point. Aris is also down there with them. Neck and neck, it seems, but as always, Aris low behind because of the thing that they're one track up, and this is only the first turn. Pretty tight race as we see here for now. There's no athletes falling behind. Gabi might be in last place at this point, but as we know, never discount Gabi. Gabi can come back from anything. Will they do it here? Rangi getting that sprint forward right now, getting a good lead, it seems, on Beretti. Tilakana coming up on this straight as well. These three might be neck and neck. Rangi a little lower than Beretti, Tilakana a little higher as well. But here comes Tempesta. Will Tempesta have this Cinderella story here? We'll have to wait. Here comes Aris. Aris sprinting down the track. Unbelievable how far Aris is ahead. Also Boomy. Boomy's way ahead as well. Boomy and Aris just sprinting. Okay, it's also sprinting. Gabi's sprinting. Everyone's just sprinting right now. This is unbelievable. Everyone's wanting to win this event. Everyone wants to get that gold medal. These athletes have trained months, days, weeks. They've been training every day for the past their whole life, basically, for this event. They don't want to have all their training go to waste. They want to show the world that they are the sheep that will win. These nations, as always, as we all know, are very proud. They have a very proud fan base. They have everything going for them, and they do not want to let their fans down. They do not want to let their country down, so they are giving their all. Here we have Boomy and Aris, as we see, sprinting down the track. Okan's also sprinting. Aris and Boomy pretty much in the lead at this point. We have Beretti also up front, passing Rangi. Rangi's way behind, it seems, and Gabi and Tempesta also are in the back, but are also catching up at this point. As we continue, we see that we will have the field narrow. It's unbelievable how close all these athletes are. As we see, they're in this small snippet of the screen. These athletes will want to continue to stay in this pile, trying to continue as hard as they can to stay close to one another, and then give the last push of energy at the very end to sprint and get the gold. Beretti, Boomy, and Aris looks like they're in the lead right now, but it could be anyone's race, as we know. Continuing down this final curve, we are about to get close to that straight, and then we'll really see who has what it takes to get the gold medal. Boomy really fighting strong. Wonder if they're taking the same strategy that Tempesta did, knowing that they're in lane 1 and just seeing athletes in front, giving that boost of confidence and energy, trying to catch up, even though they're way ahead at this point, and just completely running ahead. This is unbelievable. Boomy just has a commanding lead, it seems, just continuing to sprint forward. Will they have the energy to finish? We know that Rangi ran out of energy at the end. Will Boomy be able to sprint through? We see Rangi in this event as well. Unbelievable. We have some of the top qualifier finishers from the 800 in this race. These athletes have trained hard, and they want to show that they are the ones who will win the Sheep Summer Games in 2020. Boomy commanding lead, and they're about to enter the last 100 meters. This last 100 meters, this is where all the energy has to be expended. You want to sprint as hard as you can. You have so close to finish, so you just give it your all. You just push as hard as you can because you know that after you finish, you can rest. But before you finish, you want to win. And that drive to win is what will keep you going. What will keep you pushing harder, pushing your body to your limits to win. And Boomy getting into this final straight now. Unbelievable lead. Boomy is going for it. Boomy, will they get the gold medal? Going down the last 100. Here goes Boomy down the stretch. Here follows Aris in lane 1, in lane 2. And then everyone else way behind. Unbelievable. Boomy keeps running. Up 14 meters at this point. Aris is quickly closing the gap again. Giving that boost of energy. They see the finish line at this point. They see where they have to get to. Will they get to the end and finish? Looking back now on the last 6, who will get third? Will any of these get third, or will any of them actually sprint and get one of the top spots? Boomy continues this commanding lead. Aris following. That gap is still steady at 10 meters. Okay, and Beretti seem to be fighting for third right now with Tilakana up there. Boomy continuing this commanding lead. Unbelievable. Boomy just taking this track and just absolutely destroying it. Will they get the goal? Here they go. They're actually sprinting. They're sprinting. They're trying to beat a record here, it seems. Unbelievable. They're putting everything in. Just celebrating as they go. Trying to get this goal. Here they come down the finish. Down the pipe. Will they get it? Here comes Boomy. Unbelievable. There goes Boomy. And Boomy with the gold in the 400-meter race. Unbelievable. Harry's weighing back now. Boomy finished with a 7:25, almost beating out Tempesta in the semis, but actually falling short of any record. But that was an unbelievable performance, absolutely destroying the competition here. Aris now coming down the stretch, most likely, and here is the silver medal for Aris. Boomy with the gold, Aris with silver. A fight for bronze now. Here comes Tempesta, okay, and then Tilakana. Tempesta sprinting the last 10 meters. Will Tempesta get the bronze? Unbelievable story. They finished last in the 800, and here goes Tempesta. Bronze medal for Tempesta. Congratulations to Tempesta here. Here comes okay, and then Tilakana. Will Tilakana hold on to fourth? Yes, they will. Tilakana in fourth, okay, and in fifth. We have Beretti, Gabi, and Rangi now fighting for 6th place. And there goes Gabi in 6th, Beretti in 7th, and Rangi will finish in 8th place. What a race this has been. Boomy just absolutely dominating in this race, taking that lead and just finishing with it. Congratulations to all these sheep. As we see Boomy with 25 points, Aris with 20, and it goes down the list. Tempesta, unbelievable 15 points here in this event. Now let's take a look at some of the key highlights from this event. Here on this last turn, we see Boomy just taking that lead and just continuing with it. Not seeing any athletes, but that didn't matter to them. They just saw the finish line from here, and they just sprinted as hard as they can to get to that end. And here, Boomy finishing and getting that gold medal with a time of 7:25. Unbelievable performance. Congratulations to these athletes. Boomy with the gold, Aris with silver, and Tempesta with gold. Congratulations once again. Overall standings now, Gabi still holding on to the first place, with Boomy moving up the standings to 2nd. Rangi falls to 3rd. Thank you so much for tuning into the 400-meter race. In 2 weeks' time, we'll have an event called the Grazing Towers. Tune in then to find out what that event is and who will go home the 3rd gold medal of these events. We look forward to the next events, and I hope to see you there. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on the next event. Thank you for watching.